I'm just going live, just random times now. I'm just going live, just because it be stuff we need to talk about. So we'll wait till some more people file in. File in, file in. Check in, check in. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Guys, I was just reading on something, man. There was an article that put out talking about fact check, right? This is the stuff they do, these fact checks, right? They fact checking um, the stuff that's put out, and they got like a real like tedious way they doing it. Like I see what they doing, like they not discounting what's being said, but they being deceptive on how they report it back to you. So when you perceive something, you see stuff a certain way, they go back and they dissect it and they try to pull out things and try to make it seem like you crazy or you tripping by changing words, by changing numbers and saying, oh, that's inaccurate. Like they just was saying something. I was reading an article and then it was talking about these athletes. It was like 108 athletes, right? We know the story with the athletes. Over 108 or whatever died, blah blah. So they go back in, they call themselves fact checking. They say, oh, these weren't 108 athletes. One of them was a cyclist, one of them was canoeing, and basically they're trying to discount the fact that they were athletes. What else they said? Oh, they said, and a couple of them were coaches. So that discounts, that debunks the whole theory that these people died, these 108 athletes. It didn't debunk it. What they do is they go in and they exclude certain things. They find stuff that they can try to disprove, that they can use to debunk the whole argument. So, like they could say, so say if let's say like I stole a car or something, and they would say a description was called of the perpetrator. It was a African American male that stole the car. Boom, boom, boom. Well, they could go back in, and if you look in my history, you will find out that I'm black and Indian. Okay, like my grandfather was like half Indian, so my dad was like, what, fourth or third or something like that. So they could use that. They could go back and say, oh, he wasn't an African American, so we've debunked the whole theory about him stealing a car. But in actuality, yeah, I really did steal the car, but I wasn't African American. Well, not fully African American. I was African American and Indian. Oh, but see, nobody goes back to critique the fact check, and they're not going to allow you to. So the fact checkers, guys, understand, if they fact check something, it's because it's 100% true most of the time. What they're looking to do by adding it to the fact check is to put it back out in the public eye and change how you perceive it by telling you it's been debunked, by actually going in and finding something that may not nearly even affect the story, may not really have much relevance. Like, who cares if it was a black man that stole the car, if it was a black or African American mixed with Indian that stole the car? The fact of the matter is the car got stole, and it was a man that had African American descent. All right. So in this case, yes, the athletes that they say died really did die, and some of them were no longer athletes. They were coaches now. Okay, so it was a couple of coaches that that made them say, oh, we debunked it, because the 108 people that died, which is well beyond that now, it's in the hundreds at this point. But they come in and they can sit here and they say, we debunked it because we was able to find some discrepancy with the article that was put out. Okay, so this is what they doing, man. It's like it's a real deceptive. It's clever. It's deceptive, and how they doing it. And see, the reason why this stuff works, man, is because the people that are watching this stuff and looking at this stuff that buys into the propaganda, they are not critical thinkers. Okay, y'all remember, like when you was in high school, right? And some in college, like even like these the ACTs and stuff. Remember, you had to take the SATs, ACTs, and all that, and you always got to that reading part of the test. Y'all remember that, right? Where you do your reading and you'd have to look at 3 or 4 different instances where there will be like some paragraphs where you have to break it up and you have to figure out what what was said in the paragraph. But it was always some deception in there. Okay, it was deception to where you had to really, really break down the paragraph and see what they said. Anne wore a red dress after she came back from the prom. Okay, and she left the house at 6:30. The prom started at 8 o'clock. What time did Anne have on the red dress? And your ass be up in there about to have a brain hemorrhage, trying to figure out, damn, what time that girl take that dang dress off? I don't know. Who did she go to prom with? That'll tell you. But it was stuff like that, man. That is the methods of which they using. And if you're not normally critical thinking stuff through, then you're gonna be easily deceived by this. Easily deceived by this. And those that are asleep, they're being easily deceived because they don't thoroughly look at stuff no way. You see, it's the people like us that's able to go back and fact check these fact checks. And we see, oh, we see that y'all fact checked it, but you did it wrong, and yeah, we were right. Y'all know we right. The fact checkers know we right. But the sheeple don't know because the sheeple are asleep. That's why guys, that is why sheeple, they have very, like, I'm being honest with y'all real quick, man. Sheeple have a very, very low IQ. They have a very low IQ, a very, very short attention span, and they are completely oblivious to what's going on in the world. The reason why is because they believe everything that they're being fed. Okay, they're not going to go in and look at stuff and dissect it and figure out what is really going on. Like, that's never been their strength. Okay, they are the ones that take everything on the surface level. If they say it's gonna rain today, they bring in an umbrella and they believe it's gonna rain. Okay, that's how they live. It don't matter if you in the dead of the desert. It don't matter if it's snowing outside. They tell you it's about to rain. They bring in an umbrella. That's how they think. People like us, we look at stuff in detail. We look at stuff in depth. Okay, we have a good intuition about things, and we also able to see through things, dissect things with our minds, with common sense. Okay, we were talking about this other day. Common sense ain't common, guys. Common sense is not common. We're finding that. We also seeing it. There's a lot of dumb people in the world. There's a whole lot of dumb people in the world, man. More than you could think of. More than you could think of, man. And you're seeing it now. The video I just put out today earlier, which I was just talking, like, it was basically over the transhumanism piece, which I'm gonna get in more depth about that, guys. But the thing I want to point out about that, the whole transhumanism, y'all gotta understand, man. Understand this. Let me be clear. If you don't know anything right now about what's going on, why do you think, guys, that they're coming up with all this artificial intelligence right now? Why do you think they're coming up with that right now? Let's do our critical thinking. Let's use our common sense. Guys, they don't need human beings the way you think they need human beings. They don't need us. They don't need a billion human beings on the planet. They don't need that many people. Why? Because yes, we're burning through natural resources and stuff. Okay? They don't need this many people on the world. What purpose do we serve to the elite other than helping them to fill up their cupboards with adrenochrome? Okay? Like, what purpose do we serve? So, I was just in the store the other day, man. Went to Walmart, right? It's maybe one person working in the cash register area, and there's like 20 different auto checkouts. Okay, I told y'all back around Christmas time I was in there, and they had a dang machine, automated machine, floor mopper. The floor mopper dang near knocked me over. Okay, these are the things they incorporate. They incorporate more things so that they can push their agendas. If there's no people, okay, to say, hey man, because think about it. If you working at a store and you see a little mom with some rags on, you know, and a little girl show up at the door. She got holes in her shoes and stuff. She's thin and skin and bones. You see her ribs. Are you gonna tell that girl no, she can't have some food? You gonna tell her no, I'm not letting you in here. I'm not gonna let you eat nothing. You're not gonna do that. Why? Because we are real human beings. We have real feelings, genuine feelings, and we would be affected by seeing this emotionally. So we would take the initiative to do what? We would take the initiative to say, hey, come on in here, get you something to eat. Here, I'm gonna give you this. Here, what's going on with this child? Let me check him out. But if you got a bunch of machines, okay, you got a bunch of machines working the register, working the door. You got a bunch of machines that's freaking in the parking lot, surveilling, security, okay, electric fences and things like that. All you need is one person to work all of that stuff that's controlled by the elite, that's promised something great or promised to have a good living. Okay, or you could just have one of the transhumans, or one of the other beings. Okay, you can have one of them straight work the whole operation. You can have one of them control the whole Walmart. Okay, you can have one of them control the whole Walmart. You can have a security system set up. You can do all of that, to whereas they don't need all of us, because we at some point will get to a point where we're like, yo, this stuff ain't working. Like we ain't finna go down with, we're not finna go along with this stuff. All right, we would back each other up, we would help each other. If you got a bunch of transhumans, you got a bunch of non-humans working in these positions, man, you could do whatever you want. You could commit murder, genocide. Nobody's gonna bat an eye. Who's gonna stop you from committing genocide right now? Only the real truthers that know what's going on. And we're right now, I hate to say it, guys, but we're failing miserably. Okay, we're failing miserably. Think about how many of our family members and friends, guys, right now are on their way up out of here. On their way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we failed in that regard. And I didn't know, guys, I never thought that so many people would be so stupid. I know some of you feel the same way. You never could have fathomed that we had so many stupid people that would buy up into this stuff to the depths that they have, and they willing to go get another turbo. Y'all know what I mean when I say turbo. Like, I just put something in the Telegram. I just put something in the Telegram yesterday where the Pied Piper was sitting there blowing the flute and everything, and he was basically saying turbo, turbo, turbo. Okay, turbos for everyone. What did it say? Turbo, turbo. No, it said turbo, turbo is the key. Turbo, turbo is the key. Turbo, turbo, something free. Turbo for everyone. Now there's plenty, but soon there'll be none. It was something like that, guys, which is basically coded. But the point of the matter is, the CDC is playing the flute. They're playing the flute, guys, and they got the frequency. They got everybody following along and doing what they done, and they leading them to a path, guys. They leading them to a path. And remember, like, I think it was it was with the hold on, guys, hold on.
Dad, can you put me on swing?
No, not right now, Jake. I'm doing something.
I'm gonna swing.
No, go ahead, play with them. Okay. Jake, I'm recording. Go over there and play.
Put down.
Well, we about to leave. Either go play with the kids that's playing on the monkey bars or go home. What you gonna do? All right, guys. So, like I said, they playing the flute, man. They playing the flute basically, and they got everybody to kind of go along. Now, if you remember the story with the Pied Piper, he came through playing the flute and got everybody to kind of just get into a trance. That's what we say. They in a trance, y'all. We not able to get through to them. They not able to respond to common sense, common knowledge. They not doing none of that. So the problem is these people, they have selective hearing. Like, you could be telling them straight facts. Everything that you saying could be 100% true, legit. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to you. The only thing that's going to make them listen, some of them will not listen even when they are on their deathbeds. Okay? Even when they're on their deathbeds. Like I was telling you about my friend the other day. He like, yeah, man, I got sick, but it ain't the CV. It ain't the CV19. So I'm good. I'm sick. Granted, he didn't took the walk. All right, but he see it as a win because he's not coming down with CV19, you know. But the fact that he's getting sick on a regular basis is not even dawning on him that, dang, why am I getting sick on a regular basis? He's not thinking about that. You see, because these people, they in a state of denial. Okay, they're completely oblivious about what's going on. They trust wholeheartedly in the people that are on top, and they put themselves in a very compromising position, and they don't want to come to the conclusion that this something nefarious is going on. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to displace any thoughts or ideas about that. So with you coming to them talking this, yeah, I think you got this and that going on, man, they are gonna shush you, they're gonna blow you off, and they're gonna make you seem like you crazy still. Because if you're right, what that means to them guys, it's like, hey, a lot of stuff is gonna register with them at the wrong time, and that's when people can go like they can straight snap. Like I told y'all, man, when the stuff really hit the fan, man, you gonna have people snap. Like, people are gonna snap, and when they snap, man, they're gonna be looking for somewhere to release some anger, some frustrations. All right, now we some of the lucky ones because it was a privilege to the information, but a lot of your friends and family members, man, they are going to be ready to pop. They're going to be ready to pop, especially when they said by the end of this year. Yeah, said by the end of this year, 2022, you're going to see a explosion of a certain disease, okay? And what that's going to mean, that's aside from the stuff that we're not going to see the explosion of because it's just going to be wrote off as a regular death, right? Which is a lot of that going on. If you remember, they were saying the military report was expecting like 5,000% increase, right? 5,000% increase in deaths, fatalities, and adverse reactions, disabling, like serious issues. 5,000% increase by the end of this year. So this is year one. All right, this is year one, and I think we already kind of coming up on some mass casualties, man, of this war. And I keep telling y'all, this is war, and there are casualties in war. All right, we're not gonna be able to save all our family members and loved ones. We not. So I hope y'all coming to grips with that. You coming to peace with that, because like me, man, like I don't know, man. I don't know if some of y'all got any family members that's like you talk to them and they coughing and stuff like that, man. That stuff bothers me. Like, I'll be like, dang. Like, in my mind, I'm like, man, you know, I want to talk to them. I want to tell them some stuff, but it's almost like it's just beating a dead horse, and it just messes your relationship even further. You don't want to be ramming it to them like, I told you not to do it. You shouldn't have did it. You should have listened to me. Now look at you. You're about to die. You don't want to be saying that. Like, that's not the message you want to send. But you do want to kind of let them know, like, yo, I was trying to warn you, you know, yeah, you need to do this and that now. And some of them are becoming a little more receptive to hearing what we got to say because of the circumstances that they find themselves in now. But we really need to find out, man, what we can do for these people, man. Like I've heard some things, but nothing's been proven at this point as far as how we can help these people that have taken that walk. Um, I'm gonna look into something though. I did see something that might be promising. I don't know, but the whole point, what I was telling y'all, man, is they don't need humans no more. They don't need a bunch of people, man. The plan been in place. The Godstones, they there for a reason. At some point, they had to go through with it. All right, a mass campaign, what they done ran, manipulated and lied to all the people to get them to take that walk, and now they just waiting. They just waiting, man. They said by the year 2029, it's gonna be pretty much done. So I don't know, man. I don't. So imagine 2020. We talking about 2029 it being done. I'm saying by 2000 and I said they upped it by a couple years. They upped it by a couple years, man. So my thoughts is I'm thinking by 2025, 26, man. I'm saying the world's population probably gonna be decreased by at least a third by 2025, 26, based off of the numbers that we know of right now. So, but they implementing. They already did the walk for everybody. They incorporating the food shortages. I told y'all, man, they trying to pay farmers. They're trying to pay the farmers, man, to leave, to retire from farming, so we don't have no options to go get food. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to pay farmers to basically destroy their crops. They've been paying them to destroy their crops, and they've been paying them to retire from farming. Why would you do that? Like, why would you be trying to destroy the crops, destroy the food? All right, but this is what you get, man, in a satanic world where they want to see suffering, they want to see mass deaths, they want to see people in bad situations. Basically, they want to suck the energy right out of us, man. So we gotta be cautious, man. Gotta be cautious over the next couple of years, because even with the food that they putting out, man, I feel that they're gonna be doing a lot more crap to it. You understand what I mean? Like, it ain't no different than the immunizations from the past, man. Like, people so happy go lucky to go get them, but they never really knew. Like, whoever studied somebody that went through their whole immunization schedule? Who followed them and studied them for 20 years and see what they popped up with? You see what I mean? Like, I saw somebody, they had a hot dog. Anybody else see that? It was a hot dog. It was like I seen it on Instagram, also seen it on like Facebook. And they would took the hot dog under a microscope, and you saw some of the nastiest little critters, the little microorganisms inside that hot dog, man, to where I was like, dang, I'm like, man, what is that? Like, you think about it, you guys, that's what I said. You could eat a hot dog, and it's not just hot dog, it's pig. Okay, and I should have put it in the last video, but they got so many different nasty little microorganisms and stuff that be in the meat, and also like in a pig, they got worms, right? The little tapeworms and stuff. These things go in and they lay eggs and stuff, and they do certain stuff. They eat at your body and they destroy you. Just like they talking about right now, kids are dying from the hepatitis C, and they got livers that they happen to have liver transplants and stuff, right? So we know that it's something in the walk, right? And what's in the walk is something like tapeworms or microorganisms of some sort that have the ability to regenerate, reproduce, right? And they lay eggs and things, and these things hatch, and they go in different parts of your body. All right, they go in different parts of your body, and they do damage the same way. Okay, just like they said, the hot dogs and stuff got these little microorganism things in it. We don't know who put it in there, okay, but it's in there. Same thing with the walk. Like, the stuff they're finding in there, those creatures or whatever they go in and they're able to do something. We don't know what they do. We don't know the lifetime and life cycle. Just like caterpillars, they go through their stage and all of a sudden, boom, all right, they turn into a cocoon and then they turn into a butterfly and they fly off and they do something else with life. All right, these little microorganisms things go in your body, boom, they lay eggs and everything, boom, they grow up and boom, we don't know what happens. Mind you, I just seen a video of somebody that took the walk and they took a what they did, they took like a certain kind of bath. I want to say it's a hydrogen, it's a peroxide bath of some sort, but I think it's like 35 degree. All right, some of y'all might have heard of it, but it supposedly causes those certain kind of mites and things to exit your system. So this certain type of parasite or whatnot will exit your system, and it's an ugly little creature, man. It's the same little creature looking thing that they pulled out the girl's nose, but they only cut out half of it. Man, I know we talking about some crazy sci-fi action right now, but the bath that you take, guys, it's a detox bath of some sort. You put like some peroxide. Miss Black Barbie, if you in there, you might know what I'm talking about. We talked about, and I got another guy that we deal directly with, Dat Juggalo, and he be putting a lot of stuff in. He rubs some stuff on his skin, man, and he got these certain mites to come out of his body. All right, these mites and things, guys, we talking about not just the nanos, we talking about other stuff that they put in your food, that these things can go and they can form nests and things inside your body, lay eggs and things like that, which they later hatch and produce, and they go into your blood and they do stuff, and then boom, before you know it, you got a kidney problem, right? Before you know it, boom, you got a liver problem, boom, your appendix bursts. You see what I'm saying? These things are not just somehow finding their stuff in this food and stuff. It's being genetically altered. It's being re-engineered in the lab. That's why you start talking about the GMO food and processing and stuff, guys. They're not just fattening up the chicken to get you some food to make sure we got enough chickens to go around. They putting stuff in the food to make sure that people leave up out of here. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're putting stuff in the food to make sure people leave up out of here. We're dealing with all kinds of different re-engineered microorganisms and such that have agendas inside of our body. All right, they have agendas inside of our body. They go in and they're in there to wreak havoc, okay, on your body. So, like I said, the video I just saw, it went in line with the other thing that one of you subs sent me, where it was one of those microorganisms that then grew in somebody's body. And we ain't talking about like them, what do they call it? It's some kind of worm or something. I want to say, I can't think of what it's called. But it's something that they pull out of people's head. It's nasty, man. I done seen them do that a lot. It'd be like these little, it's like some kind of worm that be in people's head and stuff like that. But it wasn't that. This thing actually be in people's nasal cavity, like right where they be going up and stuff. So this person, I don't know if they pulled it out their nasal cavity, but the other lady pulled it out of her nasal cavity. So whatever that is, guys, it's either in there to do one of two things, okay? Or maybe three. One is supposed to go in there and possibly clog up your arteries and everything like that, and kill you. So I'm gonna say two things. One is going to your arteries and whatever and do something to kill you. Or either is to go in there and it's supposed to get control of you, okay? But we have to understand that we don't know what level of intelligence these foreign organisms are. We don't know what they're capable of. We just know that we're finding them in people's system. So we don't know moving forward what kind of effects they're gonna have on people. And it's alarming because we don't know how many people have these things inside of them and what it'll cause them to do later on down the line. So it's something to look at, man. It's something to think about, because the further we go along over these next couple years or next couple months or whatever, the people that have taken a walk you're gonna start seeing more of these things like that. I'm sure. Like, remember when they found these and it ain't been, it haven't been talked about on the news, but like Dr. Jane Ruby and Dr. Carrie Majay, they found these things and they seem to grow over time. Okay. And that's why they had to be refrigerated. They had to be kept at a certain temperature. Once they get to a certain temperature, then you start seeing a lot of activity. The eggs or something might need to be incubated back based off the graphene oxide or whatever. It's something with that. Like, we don't know the whole pictures or whole dynamics of it, but what we do know is that at some point they mature. Okay, they mature physically, and just like you can only assume that just like human beings and animals and stuff, they mature mentally. Okay, now if they are some type of level of intelligence life forms, what would they be seeking to do once they reach that certain age of maturity? All right, what does that mean for us? What does that mean that they're going to do? Outside of that, we know that billions of people at this point have this stuff in their system, right? So what does that mean for these people? Like, what can we expect? What does the thing do? Like, nobody has really been able to study the stuff that they're finding in people. I'm talking about the actual live organism. We need to know what that thing is capable of, what it's doing inside these people, because they could very well be intelligent enough to have some type of control over these people's bodily functions. They could actually go in there and know what to do to get to somebody's heart, to shut their heart down. Is that what causes people to have heart attacks and blood clots? Are they purposely going through people's system, jacking people up? You see, like, this is the type of stuff that we're not really gonna know, and nobody's gonna come out and tell us this information. But believe it, guys, the ones that are doing this, they know good and well what these things do. They know good and well what they're capable of, and they put them in there for a reason. All right, they not in there for show. They not in there for decorations. They in there for a reason, and they gonna carry out whatever agenda that they've been designed to do. All right. So anyhow, y'all, I didn't want to make this video long. I just wanted to say that real quick because I thought it was important that we start looking at it from that aspect, because the further we go along here right now, guys, we're gonna start seeing some different type of action. All right, we going into year 2. And at this point, these things that they done put in people, the things, the people that done took the walks and everything, those, whatever it is, man, whatever those things are, it's gonna start maturing in everybody, pretty much to the point where it's gonna start wreaking havoc. Okay, to what level, we don't know. We may not know until, shoot, I don't know, because we're not gonna hear it from the news. All right, you just gotta keep your ear to the streets, man, and keep on listening out, because at some point somebody's gonna come out and tell you, hey, this is what these things are capable of. This is exactly what they're doing. This is their mission in your body, and we need to get this stuff out of people as soon as possible. All right, but the cool thing, like I said, is something about that detox bath. All right, the detox bath. So you may need to look into that. Like I said, it's like a 35% peroxide or something like that. Food grade. Yes, 35% food grade peroxide that has an effect on these organisms. Okay, you can get that stuff out your system. I don't know if that's the end all do all to the effects of the walk, but if those things are a big part of the walk and those things are in you, then you at least want to, you at least want to kill them suckers, right? You at least want to kill them. After that, I don't know. Would that stop you from ending up with the clotting and stuff? I don't know. Those things could be directly responsible for the clotting, or they could be laying eggs in your system to cause the clotting. You see what I'm saying? So if you neutralize them, maybe you don't clot, maybe you don't see a heart attack in the next year or two. Okay? Then again, if you neutralize them, you may not, they may not be able to have no control over you. All right, whatever those things are able to do, you want to neutralize them, because they're in there for a reason. All right, so at least you can win half the battle by making sure that they're not doing what they're in there to do. So, yeah. All right. Anyhow, guys, I wasn't gonna make this video long. Like I said, I'm just looking at some of y'all comments right now. Yeah, I mean, well, we already know the ivermectin piece. We already know why they didn't want you using no horse dewormer, right? Because the worms that are in the horses are parasites, right? And what is ivermectin? It kills like horse parasites. So we know it's something to do with that. We know that those organisms have a way of regenerating themselves, but they don't have a way of regenerating themselves if they got the food grade peroxide and also the ivermectin on their butts. You see, you ever pour salt on a slug, guys, or pour salt on like on bacteria, like that kills that stuff, man. It kills it. It makes it like shrivel up and everything. It's like that's real science right there. All right, they know that, and that's why they made a good point to make sure that we didn't look at none of that stuff. Man, how brilliant were they? Make sure we don't use no kind of parasite killer to kill the parasites. These little slicksters. Yeah. Let's say it's food grade. Yeah, Kim, I hear you, Kim, talking about the food grade. Yeah, the food grade peroxide, guys. That's what we need to be using to get the parasites out. So, anywho, people, I wasn't gonna make this video long. Like I said, I just wanted to get that information out. Hope everybody's doing well. I will have a video probably later this week that I will be putting out. So, y'all be safe, and I'll catch you on the next video.